Patricia makes a good point. Go ahead and share that point, Patricia, with our group.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was just commenting in the chat that once you are, ready to get pre-approved, you want to keep an eye on your rate lock because it will have an expiration time period. So if it's good for 30 days or 45 days, it might be good for 60 days, but you want to make sure you have enough time to basically shop for a home and close before that rate lock expires. Otherwise, you could be hit with a rate lock extension fee, and that all depends on your loan amount and how long you need the extension for. So you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that. The other option you have as well for interest rates, you do have an opportunity to buy down the rate. So if you qualify for, let's say, a 4% interest rate, but you'd like to get maybe a 3.5 or 3.25 interest rate, you can also talk to the lender about that and what the cost would be to buy down the rate, because more than often it's beneficial to buy down the rate if you feel like you're going to be in the property for many years, and you may not even have to refinance again if you get a low enough rate. So it could be worth paying that buy down cost, which could be a couple of $1,000s.
Quick question to piggyback on that. How long is it usually for the rate lock time period? Like how long is that usually?
Could be 60, 90 days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you lock in the rate, the lender will give you different quotes for different time periods. So they'll say, it's this 3.5% plus maybe 1 point for 30 days, 1.25 for 45, 1.5 for 60. They'll give you different rate lock options, and you're buying just like a stock. You could buy future options. In essence, you're buying a future option on your mortgage.
I see. And the other question is, what is the fee that we're looking at to buy down the rate? Like, let's say the example that you gave, 4% to 3.5%. What's the fee for that? Is it based on the purchase price, or what is it based off of?
It's based off the loan amount. So they could charge you maybe 1 point to buy it down, which would be 1 point would be 1% of the loan amount. So if you're thinking about a loan amount of 400,000, it would be 4,000. But it varies with the lenders. You'd have the lender would advise.
And that's per point, like 4,000 per point.
Well, no, it depends on the loan amount.
So let's say if you have a loan amount of $400,000, 1% or 1 point is 1 point. 1 point is a percent. So $400,000 loan, 1% is $4,000. Typically, it's 1 point cost for a 0.25% interest rate.
Got it.
Because the average loan's held for 4 years. So to buy a rate today from 3.5 down to 3.25, that's a 0.25% drop in rate, will cost you about 1% of the loan, or in a $400,000 loan, about $4,000. Here's the challenge. If the lender didn't lock in the rate and it went from 3 to 3.5, now you're faced with 0.5% to get back that same rate. It would cost you 2 quarters or a half, or 2 points, about $8,000.
Right.
So that gets down to, and then different lenders have different lock expiration policies. In a rising environment, it's like Cinderella at midnight, you're going to turn into a pumpkin. The rate lock is no good. Some lenders have built in a 5-10 day extension where they'll extend the rate. So those are the kinds of questions you want to ask your lender ahead of time. That's why I work with lenders that I do, because they're built on doing purchase business. Some of the companies are smaller and are really in the refinance business. They're just used to turning over people who had a house already to lower the rate 2 or 3 times. And they're not really in the business of helping a home buyer who needs an extension of just 3 days, let's say. They'll say, sorry, I can't help you. So those are the kinds of questions you want to talk to a lender about, the service side, not just the rate they're quoting you.